I did a project on Bangalore property price prediction, and in that project I used AWS for model deployment, but this time in this project we are going to use Google Cloud, especially Google Cloud Function or GCF, and we'll see how the whole thing works, and let's get started. At the beginning of the project, in the intro video, I said that I will be converting the regular model into TF Lite, and then TF Lite will be deployed on Google Cloud. But I'm going to change that plan a little bit because I think TF Lite, it's better if we deploy to mobile application directly, and that video I will do in the future if I find a time. But for now, we will just deploy our regular model directly to Google Cloud, and our React Native app will call that function using HTTP. So that will be the change in the architecture. Let's look at installation requirements. Go to this GitHub page. Of course, video description has a link of that. It has installation instructions for Google Cloud. So follow this section, and here go to the GCP account. When you click on this, it will ask you to enter your Gmail ID. Now if you already have a GCP account, then you can skip some of these steps, but let's say you don't have an account. You enter your email ID here. Here you enter, let's say, personal project, then continue. Then it will ask you for a phone number, so you enter phone number, it will send a code, you verify it. Upon verification, you can enter your payment method. Now here, when you enter your credit card, do not worry, you get some credit for free, $300 or something like that. And then you also don't have to worry about the auto recharge, because it will not charge you until you give the permission. So don't worry, just enter your credit card information. They're not going to charge anything. You're getting some credit for free, which will be enough for this project. When you say start my free trial, it will ask you a couple of questions. You can just say, okay, I'm here for, I'm not sure yet. You can just give anything. I'm interested in AI, engineer, developer role, done. Just a couple of basic questions and you are done. Now you can create a project. So see, first you created a GCP account. Now you're creating a project on GCP account. There is a documentation link here. You can read through documentation, but it's really very easy. You just go here and you click on new project, and you will say potato disease classification, and just say create. So now it's creating the project. So in this project, we're going to deploy our Google Cloud function. So this project is kind of an area where our Google Cloud function will be deployed. So here you can click at the top, select potato disease classification as a project, and here is the project ID that you will be using later on. Now create a GCP bucket. So GCP bucket is like Amazon S3. You create it's like Google Drive, you know, like you have some area in the cloud where you're deploying your objects. Okay, so that's what it is. So here I can say create a bucket, and let's say Core Basics TF models. Now it has to be globally unique. I have already taken this name, so it's not working, but I will just say Core Basics TF models too. You need to give your own unique name, and in your project you use your bucket name. If you start using my bucket name, probably it's not gonna work. So make sure you create your own bucket. In the region, I will select US. Let's say if you're from London, Belgium, whatever country, Mumbai, just select the appropriate region so that your physical server data center is, you know, in that region, and you don't have issues with the speed. So just continue with pretty much all the default values here, and now you can create a folder. So in this bucket, I'm going to create a folder called models. In that, I will upload my model. So here you can say upload files and potatoes.h5. That h5 object I will upload. Okay, now I have my model available here. And the next step is, see, next step, this was the step which we already performed. You need to now install Google Cloud SDK. So go here and click here, click on this link. See, I'm on Windows, Mac OS, whatever OS you are on, you need to follow that instruction. I'm on Windows. I will click on this. It will download that file. See, it's downloading here, and then you will go through the installation here. I already have it installed actually, so but I'm going to probably override it just to kind of show you all the steps. It is still going, it's gonna take some time, so just be patient. It will finish it at some point for sure. So here is almost done. You can click on next. Just click all this checkbox so that start Google Cloud SDK cell. So when you do finish here, it's going to start the Google Cloud SDK cell. I already have this project selected. You might get a different screen, but I already have this project selected, so I will just say create a new configuration here, and I will just say whatever, core basics 2. I will log in with a new account just to show you how it works. So you give your credentials and then it will say you are authenticated. Okay, now here you need to pick your project. So my project was what? So let's go to here, gifted pillar. That's my project ID. So I will select gifted pillar, so number 2 as my project ID. Okay, already. I think we have already done this, but let me just to make sure. Google Cloud Auth login. Okay, I'm logged in now. All right, so I'm authenticated and I'm ready to deploy my code to Google Cloud. But hey, which code should we deploy? We need to write code that we can deploy to Google Cloud. So here I will create in my project structure a new directory called GCP. Okay, and in that I will add a Python file called main.py, and this file will have a code that will be deployed to Google Cloud. You also need to have a requirement.txt file. So requirement.txt. Why do we need this file? Because when you deploy this particular code to Google Cloud, you need to tell which libraries should be installed first, because these libraries are installed on your local computer. They're not installed on Google Cloud yet. So you need to specify all of that. And once you have that here, when you deploy your code from here, it will first install the libraries from requirement.txt file. Now I'm going to go into my meditation. All right, meditation, and let's start writing some code. We'll import some essential libraries. I'm importing Google Cloud, this particular module, to access that Google Cloud bucket object, the model that we have uploaded. And my bucket name is basically code basics TF models. Okay, what is my bucket name? I forgot. My TF models 2. And then okay, my class names, they are same as what I had in my notebook. and I'm going to create a variable for model. Here I will, I will use this variable to store my model. Now first let's download the model, and we are calling it blob binary large object. So this is a generic function we are typing where you specify bucket name, your source, blob name, your destination, file name. So source blob name meaning the blob on your bucket, but destination file name means this function will be running on a different server in Google Cloud, and that server will be downloading the model from the bucket. So when it downloads it locally on that server on cloud, here is the destination file path where it should be storing it. We'll see it in a minute. Don't worry too much about this. It's not that complicated. So now storage client is basically storage.client. We are doing this to download our object, save potatoes.h5 file from the cloud, and the storage client dot get bucket. Okay, what is my bucket? Well, whatever you pass in the function parameter, and there goes your bucket. Once you have bucket, you do bucket.blob source blob name, and that is your blob, and you download this blob to download to file name. So you download it to this particular destination file path, and I'll just now write a predict function. How we wrote it in our API folder, and in predict we'll get a request as an input. First thing you do is, of course, you want to download the model, and the first thing is bucket name. So bucket name is this one. Source blob name is this. Why this? Models potatoes h5. Well, we already saw it, right? Models is a directory. Inside that there is a file called potatoes.h5, and that, so this is in the bucket on cloud somewhere on some machine. I want to download it locally into the TMP directory as this file name. Okay, and then you can just say tf.keras.load model. So now you're loading this model, because once this call is executed, the model is available here. You're loading it here. Now this cloud function will be executed multiple times, and you need to execute this function only on the first call. Hence, I will say if model is not none, then do this. Otherwise, if model is downloaded already, why do you want to download it again? And this particular variable is global. This is how Python works basically. Now request will have a parameter called files. Don't ask me why, that's how it is. And it will have a key called file, if you remember from our Postman request, and that is your image. So from Postman, when you upload a file, or from mobile app, it will come in the image variable, and that image could be big file, 800 by 600. You need to resize it to 256 by 256. You need to convert it to NumPy array as well. So I have this PIL library, so I will just do image dot open what? Image. Okay, now I got the image. I need to convert it into RGB, because remember our images are in RGB format. They have 3 channels, and you need to resize it to our standard size that the model was trained on. is 256 by 256. And when you wrap this whole thing into np.array, what you get back is numpy array presenting that image. And that image needs to be divided by 255 because the values are between 0 to 255 range. You want to convert it to 0 to 1 range. I have the image, but when I do model.predict, it expects a batch of image. So it expects image array. And to convert the single image into an image array, something like this, you want to do something like this, right? A good way of doing this in TensorFlow is expand dimension. Okay, and you get your predictions back. I will just print my prediction just for the debugging purpose, you know. And then the remaining code is same. We already looked at it. Like this predictions will be prediction for each of the 3 class. We have early blight, late blight, and healthy. Let's say the values come to be like this: 0.5, 0.9. Then this is the class, you know. Let's say this is healthy, so then this is the class. And when you do np.argmax on this type of array, it will return you the index of the maximum element. Maximum element is 0.9 and the index is 2. So that's what it will do. So we will just pass prediction here. And by the way, predictions are for multiple arrays. See, it's an image array. My image array has only one image. Hence, I always take the 0th image. I hope this is clear. And once you get an index, you can use this class name. So let's say index is 2. So if you use class name, you get healthy. So here I do this. Okay. And my confidence is this. We have looked into this before, so I'm not going to go in detail too much. And then you return this back. That's it. My cloud function is ready. And I'm going to deploy this particular cloud function. This predict function is the one that I will be deploying to my cloud. And how do I deploy it? Well, there is a command here. So, but you have to remember, you need to use this Google Cloud Console. Okay, don't use git bash. So in Google Cloud Console, I will go to this directory and then go to like GCP directory, you know, and here I will just say gcloud functions deploy predict. What is predict? Predict is that function name. See this function name. That's this particular thing here. And I will deploy that with whatever memory 512 megabyte. Okay, fine. What is my project ID? Project ID is this here, and enter. Okay, so all right, project ID, I need to say -- project. It will take some time. Okay, what is this? Would you like to enable and retry? Yes. So Google Cloud API needs to be enabled, and if it is not enabled, you will get this prompt. You should just say yes. Here also say yes, because we want anyone in the world to be able to call our function. Usually if you're working corporate environment, you will have some kind of authentication, but since this is a study project, we are saying okay, anyone can call the function. Now here we got an error because the cloud API didn't work. Don't worry, you can just copy this particular link here and you have to just click on the button. You just say okay, enable, and then retry that command. So I'm going here, I will say enable. It will take few seconds. So cloud build API will be enabled. It will bootstrap your environment, and then you can run the same command again. Perfect, it got enabled. Now I will go here, run same command again. It takes some time, you know, up to 2 minutes, 3 minutes to deploy this, because it will install those modules, it will prepare a server, you know, start a process. So there is some setup involved here. That's why it takes time. Wonderful, it is deployed now. And here is the URL that we can use to call the function. You can get an error, it's quite possible. And in case of error, I would suggest this. Go here, go to, let's say, your home page here. This is the home page, and here in the error reporting you will find the errors if you face the error while deployment. Okay, now in our case we did not see any error, so let me just refresh this real quick. Here you will see cloud functions, and there you will see our function running. So it's green, the predict function is up and running. You can click on it, you can see the activity, you can see the logs, and so on. We'll use Postman now to call that function. So I'm just going to create a new tab. We'll be making a post request, and the request will have this URL. This is the URL that you're calling. Copy. Okay, you can get the URL by going here in a function detail. Okay, go to function detail and trigger. Yeah, see, same URL. You can just click on this and it will copy. In the body, we know it's form data, the key is file. We have looked into this before, and the file. Now I'm going to select some files which are downloaded from internet. Now these are the files which have different X and Y, different size basically. So for example, this one is 800 by 539. So I wanted to test my function on entirely different image. Okay, it's saying could not handle a request. Okay, what happened here? Let's check it out. Okay, function is deployed. Okay, let's check the logs. So looks like it crashed. So here is the crash details. Predictions is model.predict image array attribute none time object has no attribute predict. Okay, so this model parameter is none, looks like that. So model came out to be none. Oh, because I think I made a mistake. I should have put here model is none. If model is none, then you're doing that. Okay, cool. So I made this code change and I will deploy it again. So just rerun the same command. That's it. You need to wait for 2 minutes more. I know it's kind of annoying, but you got to wait. Perfect. It is deployed again. I will go to Postman and make a call, hoping it will work this time. If it doesn't, then you can go to logs again and figure out what is an error. First time usually takes more time because it's loading the model from Google Bucket and doing the prediction. There is a concept of cold and hot invocations. Okay, again we faced an error. So let's see what's going on. I'm just going to refresh the logs here. Alright, why am I getting the same error again? There's something wrong in the code. So let's see, global model is none, then download blob, potatoes models, potato.h5, tmp, and I want to make sure code basics tf models 2, so code basics tf models 2, potatoes h5. Here you can say print I will download the model now. Model downloaded, and I will do this because model is coming to be none, I think, right? That's what the error is. So predict model is coming to be none. The model is none. Oh, I made a big mistake. Actually, it should be tf.keras.models.load model. I think that was the issue. Okay, again rerun the same command. Okay, after waiting for some time, again it is up active. Let's try one more time. Wonderful, so it's working fine now. You can see I'm able to call Google Cloud function. The response came up fine. I will try some other file. This one is for late blight, and let's see what happens with this one. Okay, that worked okay as well. So overall my function is ready. In the next video we will be using mobile app to call this function. I have all the instructions on my GitHub page, and all the code, everything is available. So try it out. If you like this series so far, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thank you.